there's a couple of flashbacks where it's like, I get it. It's like we don't have to keep going back to the little ass crying all the time.
Right.
I get it, man. I get it.
We gonna see him cry so many.
I thought those exact same words.
I mean, I
go
know
back to his little ass
I'm
crying all the time.
sorry. I'm sorry your childhood got destroyed, man. But I'm tired of looking at your little ass sit up there crying, looking at fire all day.
Oh,
That's
you
all he
telling
do
me,
the whole.
your
movie.
childhood got destroyed? Look at the Star Wars prequels. What about mine?
That's all they can't do the whole movie. Just cry.
Yeah, I'm just like, I mean, I know his mama died.
I know.
I want to see Monkey Man, not your little ass right there. I cannot, in good conscience, talk about Double Toasted Live in LA without showing that image right there. Double Toasted Live in LA. That's from the Art of Moss. He did that art right there. Some of y'all be getting that on a t-shirt, but I'll let you know about that in a little bit. Sweet, sweet, kind Dev Patel. Look at him, man. Look how sweet that boy is, man. Who knew he was crazy? And just angry. And just, and who knew he could fight?
Yeah.
I saw that. I was ready to start some shit with him. I was ready to take his money. Not now. No, not now. Turns out that you, I don't know if you talk about his mama or, I don't know, kill her. He doesn't like that.
Either way.
Yeah, he doesn't like that. He does not like that at all. At least not when he's Monkey Man. That's the yeah. So who is this mysterious Monkey Man? Well, Monkey Man is his that's his alter ego. When he goes into the ring, when he does these nightly bare knuckle fights, he comes in wearing a monkey mask. He's sort of the almost the villain of how wrestling is. We have an ongoing story and whatnot. He's the heel. So he goes in and he's supposed to take an ass whooping, but he sees all the poverty going on in this fictional country or this fictional city in India. You see all the poverty going on, all these rich cats out there just having their way with everybody. And he remembers when they came in and destroyed his home and murdered his mother. So now, who can blame him for being angry? But because of the stories that his mother told him when he was young, he's been influenced to take up the good fight for the people out there. I thought this is the only thing I'm upset about. I thought he was gonna be running around a monkey mask like Batman.
No, me too. I did too. I was waiting, like, where's that part coming? Like, oh, you're not actually doing that.
No.
Oh, shit.
Well, he's about to do it, and you're like, no.
No, I want you to see my face when you get this ass whooping. Wearing no goddamn Donkey Kong mask. You're gonna see me. But he's taking on a lot of things. He's trying to take on corrupt politicians, corrupt law people, corrupt religious figures, and just India in general. Boy, that's a lot for a monkey to take on, man.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
For just one man or one monkey.
But he's got a lot of anger deep inside of him, and he feels like that's what's going to get him through. Let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer, the one that everybody loved when it came out, this trailer for Monkey Man. And we'll be back with our review. Hey.
God damn, that trailer sells that movie.
Yeah.
It's one of the best trailers I've ever seen.
Oh, it really is.
No, that trailer had everybody hyped for this film. So, Martin, you saw this at South by Southwest.
I did. So, it was one of the early movies, and I was shocked I got into it. Because, being one of the big movies, I was like, let me try to get one of these express passes. I know it's not going to happen. And it was like, oh, I got it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what'd you think?
I think the movie is good, but it's not the trailer.
Yeah, I'm about to say that trailer. that's hard.
That trailer is a lot to live up to.
Yeah.
And I think it's very ambitious, and you get a lot of what you see in the trailer, just not always the same.
Yeah. What about you? What'd you think?
Well, if you look at that trailer's like a Better Than Sex, but like you watch the movie and it's not up as par as that trailer, but it's still a very good movie at the same time.
Yeah. So yeah, you know what you're getting with this trailer. Everybody thinks that they're getting a brown John Wick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it kind of
sells. Yeah, and they name check
John Wick too. Yeah,
and it's clear that's a huge influence on what it is definitely trying to be at one point.
Yeah, and this movie definitely is influenced by John Wick and a lot of other action movies, which I'll get into in a little bit. But, first of all, this is a big surprise with Dev Patel. And people talking about how sexy he is now because, everybody did think he was a sweet guy. He's been in everything from Slumdog Millionaire. I think he was in a British show, Skins. Is that what it was called? I think so. He's always been he's been cute.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh,
yeah,
that
that's
wasn't.
right.
Oh my God.
We don't talk about that. Say that shit again.
I'm trying
Told you we don't want to talk about that shit up in here.
Chappie.
Well, he ain't come on. He had a small part in Chappie. You can't lay that out on him.
That actually plays a role in this.
You talking about a character from Chappie plays a role here?
No. Just Chappie plays into the. I'll get into it.
But yeah, now everybody's talking about, now he's out there beating ass. Everybody's talking about how sexy he is. But how is he as a director? Listen, so for me, I'll tell you this. On the one hand, this feels like a strong but flawed debut of a first-time director. Because the camera work is messy. The camera work is very spontaneous. Because for a time, the cinematography is great. And there's a lot of creative camera work that goes on. I'll tell you what I like about Dev Patel's direction in this, is that he's often using the camera movement to tell the story. I don't know if you notice this, but like he's very creative with his camera movements. I don't know how much that has to do with the cinematographer, how much that has to do with him. But I'm thinking about some things that they do in movies that are just, it's just old and tired. He found a way to weave it into his camera work and tell the story, like how he found a fake name for when somebody asked him his name. He didn't want to say who he really was. By the way, his name is Kid in here. That's all he goes by. He adopts a fake name later, but his character is named Kid. So they what's cool about that is that it allows the viewer to be a participant. They're not just showing you information just for you to look at and just say, okay, you're being fed everything. No, they're allowing you to participate in the storytelling with the movement of the camera here, so you can figure out things for yourself. So I really enjoyed the cinematography here. I know some people have been talking about problems with the cinematography. How did you feel about that?
When it's good, I think it's great, especially in the third act and when you get to the action stuff. And even through that trailer, you can see places where the cinematography is awesome. Sometimes the camera work is a little shoddy, but there were circumstances.
Yeah.
They were under some bad circumstances.
Yeah, see, that's the thing with the that's one of the things I like about this, because what'll happen here, let me see here. So what'll happen here is that the camera work would be nice, man. Things would be going nice, and the cinematography would be beautiful. The lighting in this movie is incredible, and you'll be sucked into it, and you'll just be admiring and just even though everything is dirty, there's a beauty to the cinematography over all this dirtiness and this poverty, and you're just kind of you really are just watching and taking it all in and admiring it. And all of a sudden, that movie will sneak up on you like this man right here and just start beating your ass. That movie be dancing all. It'll be dancing all sexy. Ain't I pretty? Ain't I nice? All of a sudden, a fight will break out.
Right.
A fight will break out, and then it'll just be chaos cam. And I'm joking about this, but it'll look like that.
Like the camera's like way too close. I'm like, yo, back up just a little bit. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, the camera is I'll tell you this. So the camera is handheld. It's very close. It's very shaky, and this is when they get into the fights. And sometimes it can be too much. Sometimes it can be very disorienting. It can make you dizzy. A lot of times, that worked for me.
No, I thought so. No, with that kind of stuff, I thought it worked because they show this overpopulated city. Just that city is chaos itself and everything going on. So when a fight is breaking out and the camera's all over the place, I was like, yeah, it makes me feel like I'm right there with all this shit going on.
Yeah, but also the character of Kid, it's a very dense populated city. It's very claustrophobic how tight everybody is. So you actually make a good point. But also the character of Kid is angry. He is extremely angry. He struggles to maintain his mind, because the whole thing with him is that he's trying to he gets a job at a hotel, works his way in into a hard, it's a very, 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 corrupt hotel to get into. So it's very hard to get a job there. But he gets in one way or another. And once he starts getting close to his enemies, shit, his mind just starts going.
I know.
He starts trending.
I was like, bro, you planned to get here.
Right.
Don't lose it.
Yes.
Right before you get what you want.
The crazy camera work captures just how unstable his mind is. Mm-hmm. Because like I say, the closer he gets to his enemies, the more mentally unstable he becomes. So, when we finally do have fights here, he fights in a fit of rage. He goes into berserker mode. And when that happens, the camera captures all that chaos when he's losing it. And it's raw brutality, man. It really captures the rage of that moment, both mentally and physically. The fighting is supposed to feel dirty. I feel dirty after these fights. Mm-hmm. I feel like I just got my ass beat. I didn't get a punch in. He just held me to the ground.
Broke a bottle over your head.
Yeah. So the fights here are not staged. I'm sure they're choreographed, but they don't feel choreographed. And I think that's by design. I think that's how it should be, because you don't get these, that raw, dirty feeling from having clean, staged fights. Mm-hmm. It would seem false for a movie like this. Yeah. And it is very dirty, man. Listen, they have the usual punches, the bone crunches, so much blood. I mean, in addition to the punches and the crunches, there's a lot of stabbing.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of just open wounds, man, on a lot of stuff here.
Well, it's always nice to get away from fights that are just trading punches.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
No,
just saw that.
It's just so much blood everywhere, man. And it's, and you kind of, you kind of brace yourself for when the next fight comes, because as the movie goes on, the fights get more brutal. That's what got me. And I'll tell you this, while the fights are close and it's crazy, think about Sam Raimi from back in the day when he would do, crazy camera movements. At least he keeps it going. It's quick. It goes very quick, man. And the poor janitor, he comes in, he's just like, what the? The walls and the floor is covered in blood.
I'm not cleaning this.
You can't quit shit.
I got goddamn Dev Patel's been here again. Keep telling that boy. Nah, man. And when there's certain scenes when people fall, it just looks like their wounds get covered in dirt and grime. It's just, man. It's just, they do a very good job at making a big contrast between what happens in the high rise with all the rich and entitled people and all the people who are just poor and living in poverty and sleeping on the streets. I'm talking about whole families, man. Also, this camera work, while it is close and while it is tight and while it is very grimy, a lot of that, yes, that fits the fighting style and the tone of the film, but a lot of it is also just filmmaking perseverance. Because they had some of this was shot during COVID.
Oh, yeah.
And so they had to use GoPros. They had to use cell phones for some of these things.
That makes sense.
Well, yeah. Also, like a lot of places they had for locations, like that were promised to them. Those people were just like, no, you can't now.
Yeah, they had to go to an island or something like that. I was reading up on this because I was really interested to see what, went to the making of this. And they had to go to an island, and so they didn't have access to the crew that they thought they would have. They didn't have access to all the equipment they thought they would have. So they just brought in they made some of the crew members actors, extras. They used phones when they could get them, GoPros when they couldn't get cameras. And, it all pretty much lent itself to the style of the film. Mm-hmm. So I really,
worked it in. Yeah,
I admire the filmmaking here. So, without a doubt, this is pure filmmaking. This is pure fantasy right here. This is pure action fantasy. And it wants to entertain. It puts all of his influences out there. Like when you guys were saying, there's a gun dealer that talks about, hey, you like John Wick? Hey, look what I got here. But it's not a dumb action film. And I don't mean that in an insulting way either.
No, I know what you mean.
Dumb action films, they know what they're doing. They want to be fun.
Right.
But this is not a dumb action film. This is very political and socially conscious. You know, I was telling you how he's taken on, just everybody here in this movie. In addition to getting revenge for his mother, he's taken on, he's making he's making a statement about the caste system in India, which is messed up.
Yeah.
The caste system in India it's meant to make people feel like, well, if you just tolerate living a shitty life, then you'll be okay. Or they make you feel like shit for aspiring to be more.
Well, also listen, you were born at this class and this is where you stay.
Yeah.
There's no rising up and getting above that. Just know your station.
Yeah.
Know there's certain things you are not allowed to do and live with it.
Yeah. And
these people are better than you.
Yeah. And they deserve. You know what these people did? They lived a shitty life a long time ago and they died 100 times and got to where they are. So, hey, you have your turn one day. They also put religion in people's heads to make them feel like, just deal with it and die a few times, come back one day, you'll be living the life. And that's what this movie is kind of taken on. It's taken on the caste system in India. And the caste system is controlled in certain ways, One, he's trying to reach, in addition to reaching a policeman who killed his mother, he's trying to reach this Hindu, pretty much cult leader, who's trying to have an influence on politics. So this is taking on again politics, religion, and
revenge,
and as I said, he has to work his way up. These dudes are like the final boss of the
Mortal Kombat game. Or
something. And on his way up, he has to see the indignities of all these other people who, like I said, are living in poverty. People living in the streets. People who are living like he did. At one point. It's movie has a lot to say besides just fighting and whatnot. It has something to say about children living in the streets with their families. Especially have something to do, say something about women, because in where he works, it's a brothel, It's a nice ass brothel too. But these women are not treated like human beings, they're just, they're treated like objects. You're talking about, people who go there who are just rich pricks who are able to just waste $4,000 plates of food, throw it in the dumpster. The ascension to the top is not only, something where he's making these political statements. They also pay homage to some action films. I mean, that whole thing of being in a high rise and going to the top, that's kind of like The Raid.
The Raid, yeah.
Also, just his fury for revenge is like Old Boy. Is what at least it reminded me of that. And some scenes are like that too. I mean, people getting hit on the head with damn objects and hammers. And it's very much like Old Boy in that sense. Also, the movie has a message about transgender rights. I mean, they taking on a lot of shit in this movie, man, just for this to be an action film. And it's kind of cool because in India, from what I understand from reading about this movie, they have a transgender community, an area where a lot of transgender people are. And, that's where he takes refuge with these transgender people. And it's not, these transgender people are not helpless, side figures. Shit, he's about to get his ass whooped. They come in and save the day. There's some badass trans right there, man.
Like the Avengers Endgame.
The Avengers of trans, man. But all this messaging, at least I don't know how y'all feel about it, but all this messaging never takes away from what this movie is, which overall is an action film.
I kind of thought it did.
Did you?
Here's the thing, because you're right. Monkey Man is taking on all these things.
Yeah.
And I think, it's a little too much for Monkey Man, and just as I think it's a little too much for Dev Patel for his first outing. It's very ambitious, but he's taking on all the stuff you're talking about and throwing in the whole monkey god mythology it's a lot going on, and trying to shove all these things in there. It's funny. I feel almost like a hypocrite because I'm always saying, man, these action movies, they're too simple. They're just written down to the lowest common denominator. And here's one that does have a lot to say. And I was like, it's a bit too much. And I don't know if it's just too much in general or it's just too much for an inexperienced director. But, I mean, there's also, all the trouble they went through to try to get this done. So that's part of it. But I think when I was watching this, all these things felt like they were separate pieces in here rather than melding together as one smooth kind of I don't know, fondue, more like a stew, just of chunks. Yeah, and I think I felt that it was throwing the pacing off.
Yeah, see, I didn't see that. It worked for me.
Yeah,
I admired the ambition behind. That's one of the things I thought. I mean, he's juggling a lot, and I thought, wow, he's putting a lot in here and saying a lot, and somehow still maintains a really cool looking action movie.
I completely admire the ambition. The pace of it all, going from here to here to here to here, it wasn't quite working for me. I was still liking it, liking it a lot, but I was just like, it's just something about it. It felt very stop-start.
Yeah,
okay, I'm guessing I'm in the middle of both of y'all. Cause I like that they put a spotlight on it. Cause it's wow. I was like, I didn't know that's really going on like that over there. But at the same time, I did feel like it was a little too much.
Yeah, see, it didn't. I thought it was going to be too much at first, and then where it all ended up, I was like, man, this guy. For me, again, it's going because I can see it for being just like the camera being shaky and and handheld. I can understand it's not going to work for some people.
Yeah,
it worked. It worked for me here.
I was okay with the shaky cam. Like I said, I'm with you on that.
But as far as him doing his messaging, what I think worked for me is that I got set up in the beginning for what he was doing, because in the beginning, it's not going to it doesn't start out like an all-out action movie. And so if you're expecting that, you might be disappointed. But it doesn't do that. From the beginning, it started out very slow, actually. And I'm not saying slow. Slow might be the wrong word. In the beginning, it just felt held back because he plays the heel in this wrestling match, as Monkey Man, and he's supposed to get his ass whooped. He's supposed to go in there and get beat down. So he's holding back, and it feels like the movie's holding back, and it's a very slow boil. I would even say in the beginning, the feeling I got from this is that this was not even an action movie at the beginning. It felt more like a crime thriller than an all-out action movie. But then when it does kick in, and that's, I think the action is pretty good. And I think, maybe I'm just kind of more in admiration of what he's able to do as a filmmaker than what he's failing at or not doing, because there's a lot of stuff that he takes from other action movies that they do, a lot of tropes out there that we see, and he puts them in here, but somehow he's able to make them feel less cliche. Like, the training montage. Yeah. There's a training montage here, but it was cool because it didn't feel like the quick cut training montage you see in another action movie. Here, he made it have a cultural meaning behind it. He was able to work in like the drums from one of the transgender people that were dwelling in the area that he was in. They were playing drums while he was doing it. They were using material that they had around the temple to do that. And it was a slower pace, and it actually felt like he was, again, weaving it into the story. So
yeah, that was one of those things where I appreciate all the cultural relevance of it, but I was like, it's still a training montage. Yeah, I wish we could just not do that.
Man, you and I just on opposites. It
has to be a training montage.
See, that's the mentality right there.
No, but I'm saying, but like for him to how he started and how he ended. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like he has to show growth there. So that's what the training montage is for. That's just how I see it. Like they gotta, you know what I'm saying? They know he goes crazy later on. So it's like there has to be an explanation for that and how he's able to do that.
Okay. Like I said, if it wasn't part of the story, that'd be different, but I don't know. But, like I said, not everything works for everybody in a movie. Not everybody's going to agree on whatever, they'll find different things.
And I'm not trying to be the negative Nelly, because I really did like the movie.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you did. And if you didn't, what I say? Shit, leave me alone, goddamn. If you didn't like it, I'm gonna tell you. That would be your thing, man. I'm just saying, I think that you have legitimate criticism here because I think that the style of this movie, I think is a divisive style. It's so hectic. There, again, there's certain things that they do that you see in other action films. Those things, you might like, you might not. Depends on your taste. But I think that's, says something about him at least approaching it differently than what we see in a lot of movies. I think that he's doing an amazing job at making statements in here and keeping them in balance. But he's never forgetting that he's making an action film. He's never forgetting that he's there to entertain. Dev Patel. And I did find this very entertaining. But you're right. There are certain things in here that I could criticize too. I don't think the camera work works all the time. I do think it's a little too much. I do think it's a little disorienting even for me. I was getting dizzy in some parts. A lot of flashbacks.
Yeah, that was another thank you. That was another thing that, and I keep seeing this in movies, but yeah, this was one where I was like, man, I wish people who like to do flashbacks and mess and chop up the timeline would just look at their stories linearly and go, you know what, it actually works like this. There's no reason for me to keep playing around. Here I get it because some of the stuff happened a long time ago, but there were a bunch of flashbacks, and it was just a point of like, you can stop teasing this. Yeah. We can already kind of tell what went down.
Like I get it because it's past trauma. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they're showcasing it. But they just keep going. And it's just like, all right.
Yeah, it's just...
And that's probably led to a lot of my feeling of the pacing being off.
Yeah.
Stop, start.
There I can understand that because there's a couple of flashbacks where it's like, I get it. It's like we don't have to keep going back to the little ass crying all the time. Right. I get it, man. I get it.
We just see him cry so many.
I thought those exact same words.
I know.
Back to his little ass
I'm sorry. I'm sorry your childhood got destroyed, man. But I'm tired of looking at your little ass up there crying, looking at fire all day.
That's all he do the whole.
Oh, your childhood got destroyed. Look at the Star Wars prequels. What about mine?
That's all the kid do the whole movie. Just cry.
Yeah. I'm just like, I know his mama died.
I know.
I want to see Monkey Man, not your little ass right there. They had one flashback that told you everything you need to know. All these other flashbacks, they were just kind of just extra.
And that was kind of a thing with the flashbacks, and you're supposed to get the emotion. I never really got the emotion. I always felt like I was looking at it rather than being in it.
I can see that.
I got the emotion from one of them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The one that mattered.
Yeah. And then the other one is like,
shit. The only one we needed. I was like, all right, that's sad. All right.
That's the whole entire movie.
Yeah. But now you just showing off.
Milking it.
God damn, boy. Get that boy something else to do. All that boy, all he does is say, Mama! No! God damn, shout! I did like the movie. What's my rating? Well, I'm going to go ahead and pass it on these guys and let them have some of their last words here, and then we'll start giving our ratings. What do you think, man?
Well, you know what? When you see something at South by Southwest and people accuse you of loving it just because you were with the crowd and all that, crowd was into it. And like I said, I liked the movie. I didn't love it, but I did like it a lot, and I admired it. And it's Dev Patel, for a directorial debut, it's strong, and especially considering the obstacles he had to overcome. Kudos to him. Yeah. It's one of the things he talked about. I was happy to be there. Like, it made me more favorable just to have him there to talk about what it took to make the film and all the shit that went wrong and how Jordan Peele kind of saved them. But the interesting thing was when I brought up Chappie, because that was directed by Neil Blomkamp, and when he originally had this idea, he went and pitched it to Neil Blomkamp. Like, he sat him down. He's like, my buddy, and Sharlto's here. He told Sharlto Copley about it, and then pitched it to Neil Blomkamp. Said he was there for a long time, a whole evening, just telling him all about it. And Neil Blomkamp was just like, man, I think you need to direct this movie.
Wow.
And he's like, oh, I didn't think about that. And I'm sure Neil Blomkamp was like, listen, I'm a white guy from South Africa. Yeah. I ain't telling that story. Shit, he ain't putting that on. Plus, he's like, you want all this shit in there? No, man, that sounds like you.
Yeah. Nice, man. I didn't know that.
Yeah. That was one of the interesting tales he told there. But like I said, it's one of these movies where I go like, man, I would love to see what Dev Patel does next because this is impressive. I also want to see what whoever edited that trailer, what they do next.
Yeah, for real.
That's the son of a bitch knows how to sell. Yeah. But like I said, I think it's good. I think if you see it, you're gonna like it. I think it just doesn't. I got some problems with it. For me, it's a very high matinee.
Okay. What about you?
I'm like right around the same part as you. Whenever I first saw the trailer, I was hooked. I'm like, yo, this is probably gonna be the movie of the year, stuff like that. And maybe I walked in with just too high expectations because I didn't think it was that good, but I thought it was okay. I thought it was fair. What I do like about this movie is that it's more than just an action flick, like you said earlier. Things that didn't work though, the camera work, I just was not feeling it. I thought, like, I like the POV shots, but sometimes I felt like they were just too close. And I just felt like, yo, let's widen out a little bit so I can actually see what is going on. Yeah. And they do it a lot in this movie. And I kind of like you said earlier, we kind of get dizzy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's how I was kind of feeling. One of my favorite characters though was the who was his friend in the movie?
The dude. That dude, he's funny.
The dude with one leg.
Yeah, one leg. Yeah, that's what I called him, but I don't know his real name.
Yeah,
he always just hopping around everywhere.
Yeah, that dude right there.
Yeah, no, I liked him in the movie. I know we didn't get to talk about him a lot.
Yeah,
but I liked him, but I kind of felt sorry for him because now like something happens and he gets stuck in all the bullshit. So I was like, damn, I kind of feel bad for him.
Yeah, I wish I could figure out that guy's name. Let me see, because he was very good in the movie. He's the sidekick.
There was no bad actors here.
No. This guy's name is Pratap Tripathi. Tripathi. Listen, I don't know. I don't
Good luck with
it. Call him PT.
Look, I'm right there on Martin to give it a high matinee.
Also, as heavy as this movie is, and we just saw this right here. As heavy as this movie is with all its themes, all its messaging, there are moments where Dev Patel does have a sense of humor. You saw it in the trailer. 1, 2, 3. That's what I'm talking about, where he plays with tropes and makes it his own with action movies. With this, I'm probably a little higher than, just a little bit higher than y'all with this. My admiration runs deep with this movie here. I think it's a strong debut, and it felt personal with the statements, but it didn't feel so personal that, like I say, you forgot to make a revenge action movie. Now that you don't have COVID and you don't have to work with GoPros and cameras, maybe your camera work can improve. But I think that overall, for me, it's a low full price. I really did enjoy this. And like I said, maybe it's just I was just watching this and just impressed the whole time. I mean, there's just so much going on here from a first-time director that works more than not for me. So yeah, I give this a low full price, and I'm like, y'all, I can't wait to see what Dev Patel does next. Dev Patel kind of pulled a Jordan Peele. That's why a lot of people see them working together. Not that he went into horror or anything like that, but he did go into genre filmmaking, and he came from an area where a lot of people thought like, oh, this nice guy, he's gonna make a rom-com or something. A dog movie or something. Nah, man. It's very impressive, I thought. So yeah, I recommend it. But then again, everybody kind of gave it some good marks.
No, it was good. Man, I tell you though, there's a lot of beautiful women in that movie. Oh my goodness.
Don't.
I told y'all, I like them all. God damn it. They look good in this movie.
I'm not gonna say anything.
What? There's nothing. What?
I'm not gonna say
they look good.
Yeah, his fingers moving.
No, I'm not. No, I'm putting it on one of the girls right here.
Okay.
Yeah, she look good.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Here we go. They must have the contrast turned up at your screen. Yeah, she looked too brown for you, man. Those light bulbs must have really been working at your screen.
Well, I did go to the dog theater.
Okay, there we go. She eating cheap ass hot dogs.
No, I didn't get one today. But they look good though.
No, the women,
all of them look good.
They did.
Ain't they women beautiful?
They did. Well, you made it to the end of the video. That must mean you really like what we do. So if you do, check out these other videos just like this one. Check out our other YouTube channels and subscribe to join our wonderful Toasty community. And as always, Stay toasty.